Let me tell you about a study that changed everything we thought we knew about genetics. Scientists at Duke University ran an experiment with mice that were genetically identical and prone to the same diseases. The variable was nutrients during pregnancy. One set of mice got them and the other did not, and something remarkable happened. Their offspring turned out completely different. Same genes, but one group got sick and the other one stayed healthy. This wasn't about changing the genetic code. It was about changing how the genes express themselves based purely on what the mother was fed. It proved that the genes are not destiny. The environment is. I'm Dr. Ben Lynch, naturopathic physician, researcher, and author of the best-selling book, Dirty Genes. For over 2 decades, I've studied how your lifestyle, environment, and nutrition can literally turn your genes on or off, making them work for you or against you. How you feel right now is directly connected to your genes. Out of 20,000 genes you have, I've selected 7 that act as master switches for your energy, mood, digestion, blood flow, and detoxification. In this video, I'm breaking down what these Super 7 genes are, why they become dirty, meaning that they're not functioning properly, what's happening in your body when they are, and how to clean them up so you can finally feel good again. Chapter 1. The truth about your genes and why your doctor hasn't told you. There's a field called epigenetics. This studies how genes are influenced by environmental factors. It really took off in the early 2000s, led by Dr. Bruce Lipton. His book, Biology of Belief, was groundbreaking. I linked to one of his lectures for you in the description below. The Human Genome Project in 2003 gave us the map of all of our genes, but we didn't understand how they actually respond to the environment. We thought we'd unlock all the answers. Instead, we discovered we were asking the wrong questions. Because here's the truth. It's not about which genes you have. It's about whether those genes are turned on or off, and what controls that switch is your environment, your diet, your stress, your sleep, the air you breathe, and the water you drink. Now you might be wondering, if this science exists, why hasn't my doctor told me about it? Here's why. Medical schools don't teach this. The research exists, but it takes 10 to 17 years to reach clinical practice. Studies published right now won't make it into your doctor's office until about 2035. And here's the bigger problem. Doctors are trained to diagnose disease, not support genetic function. The mindset is you have a set of symptoms that fit into a bucket. They label that bucket with a disease, and then certain medications are given for that disease. The medications are designed to tell your body to shut up. Think about it. Anti-inflammatory, antihistamine, antidepressant, antacids. Anti in ant means against. Fight, fight, fight. The body is stupid and acting up, so swallow this and tell it to calm down. Here's what's actually happening. Your genes are dirty. When I say dirty genes, I don't mean broken or defective. I mean they're not functioning optimally due to the environment, the food that you're eating, the stress that you're experiencing, or the chemicals you're being exposed to. Think of it like the jeans you wear. When they get dirty, you don't throw them away. You just wash them, and you can do the same with your own genes. After years of research, I identified 7 genes out of the 20,000 that have a significant impact on your health, and I call them the Super 7. I chose these 7 because of 4 reasons. 1, they're backed by solid research. 2, genetic variations in these genes are extremely common in the population. 3, they're heavily influenced by lifestyle, which means you can do something about them. And 4, they significantly influence major body systems. When just one of these genes is dirty, it creates a cascade effect throughout your entire body. And most of us are experiencing dirty genes right now. The fatigue, the brain fog, anxiety, digestive issues, hormonal problems, they're not random. They're not separate problems. They're your genes responding to the inputs that you are providing. And you can change those inputs, often quite quickly, if you know what they are. Now let's break down each of the Super 7 genes, starting with MTHFR, the gene that affects everything else. Chapter 2, MTHFR, the methylation master. MTHFR is called the mother of all genes because when it's dirty, it disrupts so many functions that you rely on each and every day. Here's how your MTHFR gene works. It makes the MTHFR enzyme, which produces methylfolate, which is your body's primary form of folate. Methylfolate then supports a process called methylation, where your body adds tiny tags to your DNA that acts like switches, turning the genes on or off as needed. Without methylation, you'd have all 20,000 genes running at once, which would be complete chaos. MTHFR helps keeps your genes in check. This is what a dirty MTHFR looks like in real life. You wake up with brain fog and irritable for no reason. By mid-afternoon, you're exhausted, even though you slept fine. You exercise for about 10 minutes and you're drenched in sweat, way more than everyone around you. Your hands and feet are always cold, even in the summer, and after nitrous oxide or laughing gas at the dentist, you feel depressed or stupid for days. That is a dirty MTHFR. So what makes it dirty? A few things. Synthetic folic acid, the kind that you find in breads, cereals, and cheap multivitamins. It doesn't help. It actually blocks your receptors. Other factors which affect MTHFR function are vitamin B2 deficiency, hypothyroidism, nitrous oxide. These negatively affect your enzyme function. And your doctor might be telling you to take more folic acid, which makes it worse. MTHFR is foundational. When it's dirty, it dirties so many other genes. Now this next gene controls your mood and your stress response. Chapter 3, COMT, the mood and hormone regulator. Imagine if the way that you react to stress, whether you stay calm or spiral, wasn't really you. What if it was just some of your genes reacting to your environment? That's exactly what this next gene helps explain. Think of genes as having jobs to do. COMT is a gene which has a few different jobs, and it can get overwhelmed pretty easily as it has to do so many of them all the time, especially these modern days. And the job of your COMT enzyme is to break down dopamine, norepinephrine, and epinephrine, which are your stress neurotransmitters and your motivation neurotransmitters. It also metabolizes a toxic form of estrogen. The COMT enzyme can work too slowly or too quickly. Opposite problems, opposite symptoms. You can have a slow COMT and a fast one. A slow COMT looks like this. You can focus intensely for hours, which is awesome, but you can't turn it off. A cup of coffee, now that you need it, makes you jittery and anxious. You're very productive, but you're wound tight. You don't understand how people around you can just sit around and do nothing. When you get mad, you stay mad for a long time. You have trouble falling asleep. If you're a woman, you can have severe PMS, especially right before ovulation. And the fast COMT enzyme is just the opposite. You need coffee to feel awake. The couch is your buddy, as is Netflix. You struggle to focus on anything for more than 10 minutes. You crave high-fat, high-sugar foods, and they do make you feel better, but only for about an hour. You're drawn to thrill-seeking, shopping, gaming, anything that gives you a dopamine hit. You have low motivation and low energy. Perhaps right before ovulation, you get a few days of a good mood and motivation, only become very weepy and sad a few days later. So what makes COMT dirty? For slow COMT, too much coffee, magnesium deficiency, high estrogen, chocolate, green tea, chronic stress, high protein diets, and methylation issues linking back to a dirty MTHFR. For a fast COMT, it's just a couple things. Not enough protein and low estrogen are common culprits. Understanding your COMT type changes everything about how you should eat, supplement, and manage stress. And what's incredibly important is understanding that your COMT enzyme can flip from slow to fast and fast to slow in the same day depending on what you're demanding it to do. Keep tabs on how you're feeling mood-wise and adjust your protein and magnesium and support your estrogen levels as needed. And your COMT works closely with the next gene, which also comes in fast and slow versions. Chapter 4, MAOA, the brain chemistry controller. This next gene doesn't just affect how you handle stress, it affects how quickly you recover from it. It's called the MAOA gene, or the warrior gene. When it runs slow, you stay fired up long after the conflict's over. And when it runs fast, you feel the opposite, like your spark has gone out. MAOA regulates serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine. Like COMT, it can be also too fast or too slow. Fast MAOA types look like this. You fall asleep easily, but you wake up way too early in the morning, like 4 a.m., and you can't fall back asleep. You crave carbs constantly, and they do help your mood, but only temporarily. You feel flat most of the time. No joy, no color, no excitement, and you lack desire for things that you used to love. And you're impatient. You have headaches and migraines. You've been told that you have OCD. Slow MAOA is different. Like with COMT, someone cuts you off in traffic and you're furious for the next hour or two. You love cheese and wine, but afterward you feel irritable and even aggressive after eating or drinking these. You have a hard time falling asleep because you can't wind down, but once you're out, you sleep throughout the night. After any stressful event, it takes forever to calm down. So what makes your MAOA enzymes dirty? For slow MAOA, too much tryptophan from high-protein foods, stress, or deficiency in riboflavin. For fast MAOA, you're not getting enough tryptophan, you have infections that you're fighting, inflammation is present, or you have gut issues like Candida or SIBO. And MAOA works closely with COMT to control your brain chemistry. When both are dirty, you get amplified mood swings and sleep problems. But it's not mental illness, it's biochemistry. Chapter 5, DAO, the histamine handler. If you've ever had strange reactions to food, a runny nose after dinner, hives for no reason, your heart racing after a glass of wine, and every allergy test comes back negative, this gene could be why. You're not allergic, you're histamine intolerant. Your DAO gene just can't break down histamine fast enough. DAO breaks histamine down from food, beverages, and your microbiome. What many people don't realize is that gut bacteria can also produce histamine. So if you have SIBO, Candida, leaky gut, or you're taking probiotics, you can be making excess histamine internally on top of what you're eating and drinking. When the DAO enzyme can't clear histamine fast enough, it builds up in your gut, contributing to leaky gut. And then you absorb the histamine into your blood, which flows into your arms, legs, brain, uterus, bladder, and it triggers reactions all over throughout your body. And this is what it looks like. You eat dinner, maybe some leftover chicken, some aged cheese, a glass of red wine. 20 minutes later, your nose starts running. Your skin feels hot and possibly itchy. Your heart rate and your pulse rate are racing a bit. Maybe you get a headache or find yourself irritable and you cannot fall asleep when you try later on. You chalk it up to allergies, but it happens with different foods, seemingly at random. Your doctor tests you for allergies, but everything's negative. It's not allergies, it's histamine. Your DAO can't keep up. So what makes DAO dirty? High histamine foods, which are things like aged cheese, wine, vinaigrettes, fermented foods like sauerkraut or kimchi, cured meats, even leftovers. High histamine drinks, wine, champagne, kombucha, bone broth, gut infections like SIBO or Candida can also do it. And leaky gut makes it even worse. And certain medications, antacids, metformin, NSAIDs, they all block DAO. Certain probiotics make more histamine, like Lactobacillus fermentum, Lactobacillus bulgaricus, Lactobacillus helveticus, Streptococcus thermophilus. Read your labels and stop taking these if you're experiencing high histamine issues. Switch to a low histamine probiotic. Once you realize histamine is an issue, everything changes. You can shift to a low histamine diet, heal your gut, and support DAO function. And those reactions that used to drive you crazy, they finally stop. Chapter 6, GST and GPX, the detox duo. These two genes determine whether you can handle living in the modern world or whether you walk into a carpet store and immediately get a headache from the formaldehyde oozing out of them. When these two genes are dirty, you become a toxic sponge. GST and GPX are two key detox genes. GST attaches glutathione to everyday chemicals such as pesticides, arsenic, mercury, formaldehyde, and chlorine, so they can actually be eliminated through urine. GST, along with COMT, helps eliminate the most toxic cancer-causing estrogens from your body. GST's partner, GPX, handles a completely different chemical that your body actually makes in rather large amounts. This compound is hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide is made when you break down serotonin, histamine, or when your immune system is fighting infections, or when you're exercising. If GPX can't convert that hydrogen peroxide into harmless water, it damages your cells and your DNA. This is what it looks like. You walk into a department store and you get a headache from the new carpets, the new clothing, or the pesticide aisle. You can smell things that other people can't. Cigarette smoke 3 cars away, mold, fragrances on people's clothes. You notice gray hairs during a stressful year and they haven't gone away. You feel toxic most of the time, like your body's bogged down. You're always tired, your brain isn't working, everyone around you seems fine, but you're reacting to everything. So what makes GST and GPX dirty? Chemical exposure, pesticides, plastics, jet fuel, fragrances, cleaning products, air pollution, heavy metals. It all adds up. Then there's emotional stress. Chronic stress burns through glutathione faster than your body can make it. Physical stress, which is exercise, increases huge amounts of hydrogen peroxide. The infections that you get further lowers your glutathione levels. Tylenol, the more you use, the lower your glutathione is. Mold actually prevents your body from making glutathione. So all you fans of NAC out there, if you have mold exposure, you better take glutathione directly. And if you're low in key nutrients like vitamin B2, selenium, or cysteine, you are left defenseless. When these two genes get dirty, chemicals, harmful estrogens, and your own immune system starts damaging your cells. That's when you see autoimmune issues, brain fog, neurological problems, and even cancer risk. And here's the kicker. In order for methylation to function, GPX and GST must be clean. So when your detox genes are dirty, they drag everything else down with them, including MTHFR and this next gene. Chapter 7, NOS3, the circulation gene. This gene produces nitric oxide. This is the molecule that keeps your blood vessels dilated and your blood flowing. When it's dirty, oxygen and nutrients can't reach your cells. And this is what it looks like. Your blood pressure is elevated. Your hands and feet are always cold, even in the summer. Heart disease runs in your family, and you think you're next. So what makes NOS3 dirty? Things like infections, inflammation, high blood sugar, insulin resistance, sitting too much, smoking, physical and emotional stress, low iron. NOS3 is one of the most sensitive genes in your body. It only works when everything else is clean. You need a clean MTHFR for proper methylation. You need clean GST and GPX for antioxidant protection. You need healthy homocysteine levels, which ties back to MTHFR. NOS3 also requires estrogen to function properly, which is why postmenopausal women often develop blood pressure problems and heart issues later in life. You need low inflammation and balanced blood sugar. That's why heart disease is so complicated. It's never just one thing, it's a cascade. But when you support NOS3 the right way, everything changes. Circulation improves, blood pressure drops, energy goes up, brain fog disappears. NOS3 though, is a tough one to clean up. You have to clean all the other 6 genes in order to have it function well. And here's another important one. Chapter 8, PEMT, the liver and cell protector. You're a vegetarian or vegan, your gallbladder acts up on you, or you had it actually removed. Your muscles ache for no reason, your doctor just told you you had a fatty liver even though you don't drink and you're not overweight, you're postmenopausal, or you have low estrogen. Your PEMT is screaming for help. PEMT's job is to produce phosphatidylcholine. Phosphatidylcholine is needed for cell membranes, bile flow, liver health, and muscle function. Your PEMT alone, by itself, uses nearly 50% of your entire methylation reactions, which puts a huge burden on your MTHFR enzyme. And this is what it looks like. You think you're eating healthy, lots of veggies, hardly any meat, no eggs, but you're not sleeping well, muscles ache, and you have right-sided heaviness as your gallbladder is sluggish. Your doctor says you have a fatty liver, but you don't drink, you're not overweight. It doesn't make sense. You're bloated, uncomfortable, and fats don't sit right with you anymore. Your doctor says you might even have SIBO. That's a dirty PEMT. So what dirties it? Low choline intake. That's a big one. Vegetarian and vegan diets are actually very low on choline. And then you got MTHFR issues on top of it because PEMT depends heavily on methylation, since it uses 70% of your body's methylation reactions just to make phosphatidylcholine. And on top of that, add chronic stress, which burns through methylation. Then you add synthetic folic acid, which blocks your methylation, and things start to back up fast. Your liver is your main detox organ. And when your PEMT gets dirty and the liver fills with fat, detox slows down. You can't clear estrogen, you can't eliminate chemicals, you can't produce enough bile to digest your food. PEMT is the foundation of liver health, and liver health is the foundation of balanced hormones. Chapter 9, how to clean your dirty genes. Here's what most people don't understand. These genes don't work in isolation, they work together. When one gene is dirty, it affects the others. A dirty MTHFR affects your COMT, which affects your MAOA, which affects your mood and sleep. It's a cascade. This is why you can't just treat symptoms. This is why taking a supplement for energy doesn't work. This is why your anxiety medication doesn't actually fix the anxiety, it just masks it. You have to address the root cause, the dirty genes themselves. And the most important thing that I can tell you, you are not broken. You are just stressed. You're not imagining it. Your genes are responding to your inputs, and you can change the inputs. The way you clean your genes follows what I call the soak and scrub method, and it has to be done in a specific order. Step 1, soak. Remove what dirties them. Eliminate the synthetic folic acid. Reduce the chemical exposures, the pesticides, the plastics, the fragrances. Remove the foods that you're sensitive to. Fix your sleep and manage your stress, and eat until you're about 80% full, then stop. Sweat daily. Hydrate with filtered water. Filter your air. Why? Because you breathe 11,000 liters of air every single day and all the pollutants within it. You can't scrub your genes clean if you are dumping more dirt on them. Step 2, scrub. Add what they need. Give your genes bioavailable nutrients, methylfolate instead of folic acid. methylated B12 instead of cyanocobalamin, active riboflavin, good forms of magnesium, not magnesium oxide. Eat sufficient protein, not too little or too much, and add vegetables rich in folate and minerals. Move your body. Step 3, spot clean. Targeted support. Each gene needs its own specific protocol. MTHFR needs riboflavin. COMT needs magnesium if it's running slow, more protein if it's running fast. DAO needs a healthy gut, no alcohol intake, a low histamine diet for a bit, and then the right probiotics. GST and GPX need you to slow down exposing yourself to so many chemicals and stressors. Now, the full protocols are detailed and specific. Too much to cover in one video. And that's why I wrote an entire book about it. In my book, Dirty Genes, you'll find the complete gene-specific protocols for all 7 genes, plus personalized quizzes to identify which of your genes are dirty and exactly how to clean them up. You can grab it on Amazon or wherever books are sold. But here's the important part. You have to do this in order. If you jump straight to supplements without removing what's dirtying your genes first, the synthetic folic acid, the stress, the chemicals, you're wasting your money and you might even feel worse. I've seen people take methylfolate when their MTHFR gene is dirty and they have terrible reactions, anxiety, irritability, insomnia. Or perhaps the methylfolate worked really well for the first week, only to be causing these issues a week later. Why? Because their COMT and MAOA genes are dirty. You cannot push one gene and expect all the others to work well if you haven't put in any of the work. Genes have jobs to do. Reduce the amount of work that they have to do, give them the tools they need to get their jobs done, and you will feel great again. Your genes aren't broken, they're just dirty. And dirty genes can be cleaned, and you're in charge of both dirtying and cleaning. If you recognize yourself in any of these symptoms, especially the MTHFR ones, I made a deep dive video on MTHFR specifically. How to know if your MTHFR gene is dirty, what's blocking it, and the exact protocol to clean it. That video is right here.